Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today I'd like to focus in on another video, a video a day, wherein I talk about a film or TV series that has something to do, I think, with the season of Halloween, October 2020. Today is a very special film, and I underline and circle that word special because I think it has a whole import of various meanings. Because this is one of the great cult classics from the 1980s, and one of the great cult classics that's associated with a real master of cinema. That is Lucio Fulci, but it is a little bit more complicated than that, as some of you may know. And when you see the film that I will present, you will know why. Because the film is Zombie 3. Zombie 3, a film that has so many mysteries, so many things that are complex about this. And I made brief reference to the production. This film is credited as being directed by Lucio Fulci, although, as some of you may know, that is only speaking to part of the story, because we do have others, Bruno Mattei and maybe others, that also were described as lending a hand, or perhaps even more, in terms of directing the film or finishing the film. And so if you're interested in a deeper, in-depth look at the production details and history of this fascinating film, then I encourage you to check that out. There are some bonus features on some of the releases, as well as materials that you can find online. But also another thing that's fascinating too is this film's title. It's called Zombie 3, although it does have the title sometimes Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, but it's known as Zombie 3, which implies, of course, knowledge of Zombie 2 and Zombie. And what does that mean in the context of Italian horror, of zombie films, that's genre or subgenre, the whole naming conventions of horror films in Italy, which is very fascinating in and of itself. So this is part of that equation. But I don't think it's necessary to overthink this component, because for me, this forms part of what is so fun about this film. There is so much of a kind of unexplainable nature to this, and it's also due in part to the interior workings, the interior physics, if you will, of the film and its goings on and how it carries through with its plot. A very intricate, elaborate plot, by the way, that has a whole variety of characters, which makes this film in many ways a kind of epic, an action horror epic, because of all the cast of characters and the different walks of life, the military, the scientists, and the tourists, and the soldiers, and the hotel, and the workers, and all this, and the industrial spies, and the espionage, and all this leading towards a zombie apocalypse that has its roots in a chemical weapon, which has the unbelievably wonderful and brilliant name of Death 1. So this is a film that is just filled to the brim with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on, both in front of the camera and also behind the camera, and also during the making and after the making of the film. And so what to make of this? What to make of this film? This is a film that is so near and dear to my heart. It has a lot of over-the-top special effects set pieces that are just brilliant in their gooey goriness. There is a lot of stuff splattering. There is a lot of flying stuff here and there. There's a lot of explosions of guts here and there. And there's just so much more that form the real heart and soul of this kind of genre or subgenre, which is the quote-unquote zombie genre. And I use air quotes too, because this has its own separate strands, as you will, in terms of the cause of the so-called zombie menace. As we know, with many zombie films, there are different causes, and so Here we have a chemical-based one, and so it forms part of that tradition of the chemical-based menace or threat, and what transpires and what results as the consequences, and the story that we see all these characters coming together in this one particular location, and all the chaos that ensues from that. Absolutely brilliant, wonderful time. There are a lot of laughs in this film too. Some of them might be intentional, others maybe not so intentional, but whatever the case, all of them are still laughs all the same. And this is in many ways very much laugh out loud funny. There are some great acting moments. There are some great acting moments about a discussion of the moral implications of Death One, and also the way in which our heroes try to escape. There's a really great line involving canoes that I don't want to spoil, but it's one of my favorite lines of dialogue ever. And there are some brilliant, over-the-top, outlandish, just what the heck is going on type of zombiness that is at work here. As I was mentioning before, the interior physics of this film, I think, are either just totally off the wall ludicrous, or are just so deep, three-dimensional chess type of working that it's just it boggles the mind. And so I am left stunned at the various configurations of the zombie menace and what really unfolds. And sometimes it's really so gross that just, as I say, boggles the mind. And the different variations on a theme that we see played themselves out with a great deal of shock and awe, and also hilarity, and a almost bubbly sense of bonkers type of cinema, I think, is what makes this film a truly unique viewing experience. It certainly isn't for everyone. There are quite a lot, in fact, of very violent moments, very bloody, gooey moments. And so it's not for everyone, that's for sure. And there are some scares there as well. But for those for whom this type of subject matter is okay, this is a really good time. Is it the greatest film ever made? Again, only time will tell with that kind of question. But whenever I'm looking or watching a film like this, the question that I have in my mind is not, is this the greatest film ever made that I'm watching? But rather, the question I always have in my mind is, am I having fun? Am I having fun? And for me, with this film, and all that it entails, its title, who actually directed it, and the concept of the zombie, and how is this happening with the flying thing here, and what exactly happened there, the military, the stuff, the whole thing with the characters, and what's going on here, and the dialogue, and the great music too, all this stuff, and I'm absorbing it, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm asking myself the question, am I having fun? And for me, always, when it comes to Zombie 3, the answer to that question for me is an emphatic, total, 100% YES. Yes, yes, yes. You betcha. I am having such a good time with this. I always have. I always will. I remember when I would watch this film with friends many years back, and we would just be laughing out loud, just having such a wonderful time, and this being a film that we understood was a troubled production, but still the results are extraordinary. They seem in their own unique, unexplainable way to still be able to hang together and create this thing, this wonderful, glorious thing that still has a lot of stuff that explodes out of it and just splatters against the wall, and still is giving us something that's such a good time. This thing that we call right here, right now, the film That is the one, the only, Zombie 3. Zombie 3. Again, it's not for everyone, and even for those who are into the zombie genre, it's certainly not for everyone. Even for those who are fans of Lucio Fulci, of course, there is a lot of there are a lot of footnotes that need to be made when describing this in the context of Lucio Fulci's filmography. I totally get that. I absolutely get that. So there are a lot of issues with this film. Regardless, though, as a filmed entertainment, I am entertained every single time. So it is with great pleasure that I mention here to you this film, the one, the only, Zombie 3. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you once again, as always, for your time. Stay safe, stay well, and cheers. I love, yeah, this is a great one. It's a great song.